qualitative chart. Let me show you how to read this chart. See, so for example, here we have mentioned the subjects like economics, polity, geography, environment, science and technology, history and culture, IR, and miscellaneous current affairs. So miscellaneous current affairs means any current affairs which is not covered in number 1 to 7 comes here, like sports. News related to sports, news related to miscellaneous events, for example, like who has written this book, etc. All these things are miscellaneous current affairs. Now, so I have taken these 9 years, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22, 23. These are the 9 years we have taken. So roughly around, let's say that we are talking about 9 to 10 years. Say. Now, let us look at economics. In 2023, 17 questions were asked in prelims, like this year, roughly around 17 questions. Some people are saying 16 also, but I have included one more question in economics. That question is related to hydrogen as a fuel, because I had taught that part when I was teaching economic survey and budget. It was given in economic survey and budget. Since I covered it, so that is why I am putting that one question in economic section, so it makes it 17. In 2022, 18, then 21, 14, 23, 22, 25, these are the questions. What I have done is, I have added all this and divided by 9, which gives me the average. So average number of questions from economics in prelims is 20. In last 10 years, this is the average number of questions. Out of 100 questions, 20 economics. Similarly, from polity, see guys, 14, 11, 19, 18, 13, all these things. And then you see average number of questions from polity is 14, geography 12, environment 13, science and technology 12, history and culture 16, IR 6, miscellaneous 3. This is the average number of questions. Let us focus on the average. Now see, I want to show you that if suppose 20 questions are asked from economics, like on an average in prelims, out of 20 questions, 10 to 12 questions are current affairs based. So this is current affairs based question in economics, and rest 8 to 10 questions are static. This is how the combination is. So almost out of 20, 10 questions related to current affairs, 10 questions related to basic concepts. This is how they frame questions. Similarly, if you look at environment, you will see that out of 13 questions, 9 to 10 are current affairs based. In science and technology, out of 12, 8 to 9 current affairs based. In IR and miscellaneous, they are asking roughly around 6 plus 3, let's say 9, 10, all the 10 are current affairs based. If you add all this, you will see that out of 100 questions in prelims, so suppose these are your 100 questions in prelims, right? So roughly 30 to 40 questions are current affairs, and the rest, almost 60 to 70 questions are static. This is how the contribution of current affairs figures in different subjects. The way questions are being framed these days, even if they are giving one statement as a conceptual statement, the second statement in the question belongs to current affairs, which means you need to have equal command in both. That is the relevance of current affairs. Now, the most important question that any candidate asks is, almost more than 90% students used to read only Hindu newspaper. But these days, Indian Express has customized itself, and they are writing articles and content which is very close to UPSC standards. So a lot of students are studying Indian Express as well. So the Hindu and the Indian Express, both are good in my opinion, very relevant for UPSC, you can pick either. But there are some students who prefer to go by the third model, which is a hybrid model. So what they do is, for example, they will make one of the newspaper as base newspaper. Like students would make Indian Express as base newspaper, and then they will use Hindu selectively, and they will read editorial, international relation related articles and science and technology related articles from Hindu. Some students use this model. If you listen to a lot of candidates who have qualified the exam, many will tell you they read only Hindu, they read only Indian Express. Some will tell you that they are reading both selectively, which means if they cover some news from Indian Express, they don't repeat it in Hindu, they will read something else from Hindu. So this is how they integrate. There is a fourth model also. I will tell you what the fourth model is. I call it as Wajiram Current Affairs Ecosystem. So ecosystem comprises of a lot of components. So what I have done is, I have created some ideas for you as to, if you are a student of Wajiram, how should you create a method to prepare current affairs in a holistic manner by using all the resources in an efficient way, by not repeating resources, by using them in an efficient manner. I call it as Wajiram Current Affairs Ecosystem. That's the fourth method. Since you already are a part of Wajiram, I think you should go by this method. But even if you are going by method number 1, 2 or 3, you will get success. That's not a problem. Now, the question is, how much time to devote for current affairs? So initially, since your concepts related to various subjects are at a very basic level. For example, you understand polity, but you are still learning the subject. You understand what is GDP, but you are still learning the deeper concepts of economics like poverty, unemployment, gross value added, all these things, inflation, foreign investment, balance of payment. It takes time to build the concept. Similarly, you understand fundamental rights, DPSP, You understand what is amendment to the constitution, but it will take you time to get the deeper concepts related to polity. Like, is there a conflict between fundamental rights and DPSP and all these things? Which means with time, as you get more static concepts in a subject, your effort required in the newspaper will come down. Initially, more effort will be required because your basic concepts are still in the very initial stages. But later on, you will see that the time that you will devote in the newspaper will come down. So initially, if it is taking you 2 to 2.5 hours, some students, when I meet them, they tell me that they are taking 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours also, initially when they start preparation in the current affairs. But they tell me that later on, they are able to reduce the time to 1.5 hours. So this will happen gradually after 3, 4 months, 5 months. So don't panic, please. Initially, if it is taking 2 hours, 2.5 hours, don't panic. It is okay. Now, what should be the duration of the coverage of current affairs? So for example, ideally, people will tell you that you should cover newspaper of last 2 years, etc., 1.5 years. So if you ask me personally speaking, so if you cover newspaper of past 1 year or 1.5 years, good enough. But the problem is, when you prepare for UPSC, you have so much of content that you don't have time. So ideally, if you ask me, if you prepare newspaper of last 1 year, it should be good enough. And I'll give you a logic as to why. See. So guys, you understand what is the meaning of quarter. So for example, January, February, March, that is 1 quarter. Then April, May, June, 2nd quarter. July, August is the 3rd quarter. August. So we divide 12 months into 4 quarters. Suppose that you have not studied any current affairs so far, right? So I'll give you an example. So you have not studied current affairs at all. You have zero idea about it. And you are planning to study current affairs from July. July is the first month. You will read the current affairs and newspaper. So when you read news that is coming in July, August and September, 1 quarter, you will see that in the 2nd quarter, October, November and December, whatever was given in July, August and September, like issues related to agriculture, industry, etc., same issues will be repeated after 3 months, which means these are 3 months. After 3 months, another quarter starts. Almost same issues are repeated here because problems faced by economy is same. We are facing a problem of farmer suicide. It doesn't go away in one day. We have to work very hard as a society to remove the problem of farmer societies and help our farmers. Which means if an article is there related to farmer suicide here, it will have 5 points. Here, 2 more points will be given. They will give 5 old points plus 2 more points. Which means every quarter, something from the previous quarter, important points are repeated. Similarly, in this quarter, these points will be repeated. So if you are doing 1 year of newspaper, actually you are doing close to 1.5 years of newspaper automatically. Right, so this way. So one of the problems that we face is during our preparation, suppose, God forbid, if you are not well or if you are busy in your optional, you could not read newspaper and current affairs, let's say in July, August and September. For some reasons, you should start your newspaper from October, November and December by remembering this logic that whatever news is coming here, some important points from here will be repeated here. So don't panic, please. Don't take stress, even if you have missed something. So you can definitely move ahead. Some points from the previous newspaper is definitely covered because issues remain the same. So there is no need to take stress. Maintain peaceful state of mind and you will really do well in the exam. So that's my opinion. Now let us look at which are the focus areas in the newspaper. Where should you focus, right? So I have divided the focus areas into 5 parts in the newspaper. First part I call as general articles. Which are the general articles? See? So I have taken an example. So guys, suppose that we read in the newspaper an article like this. This is a recent article. It says, PM Modi inaugurates